Yo, what's going on guys, and welcome back to another video. And today I'm doing What If Naruto Had Infinite Chakra Part 3. So I hope you watched the last two parts, because I'm not gonna do a recap. Anyways, let's get right into it. So after Shitsui became Naruto's new sensei, he had about 2 weeks until the Chunin exams began, since in this timeline, the Land of Waves arc was a little bit earlier than in canon, so the Chunin exams weren't right after the mission. Here, there was about 3 weeks. That's why in the last part, the Chunin exams didn't start right after the mission. So there is a brief time period before that. However, now, we go ahead to the Chunin exams. Right before entering the building where the exams would take place, Naruto saw a red-haired kid. But he was his age. However, he was at least trying to hide. And there was what looked like his teammates picking on somebody Naruto could see, but since it was from quite a distance, Naruto didn't recognize who it was. However, when walking closer, he saw that it was Konohamaru, and he started instantly running towards them as fast as possible. For Konohamaru was like a little brother to Naruto, and whilst he wasn't strong, Naruto did sometimes try to teach Konohamaru things about chakra and kunai, especially in his free time. Naruto shouted, "Hey, stop hurting him!" And then the yellow-haired girl stopped. In what seemed like an instant, Naruto and Kurama, in this mindscape, had a small conversation about who those people might be. For Kurama had at least an idea. He knew that they were from the sand village, and he also knew that one of them was a Jinchuriki of the One-Tails, which made Naruto extremely wary of him, which is why he didn't want to start a fight, but he couldn't see his little brother getting hurt, which is why he introduced himself and apologized for anything that Konohamaru did, and then walked away. However, Gaara asked for his name, since he sensed that there was something different about Naruto. It was the Nine-Tails chakra. Shukaku, of course, felt it. Shukaku, the One-Tails, felt that Kurama's presence was near, and he was afraid, though that also boosted his ego, since he wanted his Jinchuriki to beat Kurama's. They always had fought and been competitive with each other. However, it was rather obvious that Kurama always had the upper hand. Naruto introduced himself as Naruto Namikaze, and after asking who the other kid is, he introduced himself as Gaara of the Sand. Then Naruto simply walked away, with Konohamaru almost pushing him away. Then we go to the Chunin exams. Of course, first they had to find the room, though it was very clear that this was a genjutsu, and Naruto easily broke it up for them to find the right room. Team 7 had already met up and are now walking together to the first exam of the Chunin exams, where they're confronted with a written test that is rather easy for all of them, since Sakura is quite book smart and Sasuke and Naruto have been working on their tactics and challenging themselves psychologically every day, all day, which was why all of them were actually at least able to answer a few of the questions correctly. However, of course not all of them, since that wasn't even the goal of the exam. Then came the second exam, the Forest of Death. Here, Team 7 was confronted with a challenge. However, without knowing Naruto's training, they thought that they might even fail. However, Sasuke was pretty confident, since even he alone could probably try to win on his own, though Naruto had racked up some seriously incredible skills. Immediately when entering the forest, Naruto made what looked like 1,000 shadow clones, which in mere seconds spread out through the entire forest and started fighting everybody who they saw and arrived. Finally, Naruto told his team to just walk towards the tower already, since their victory was assured. On the way there, whilst almost at the entrance, 10 of Naruto's shadow clones came back, each with a scroll, and then they went into the tower after finishing in roughly 10 minutes, the fastest team that has ever finished in the second round of the Chunin exams. This meant they had 3 days to just relax, and perhaps even train if they got bored. And with that, the second round of the Chunin exams was over, at least for them. So now we skip to when the preliminary rounds actually start. By the way, I didn't address it yet, but the whole Orochimaru attack in the Forest of Death isn't gonna happen just yet. Number one, because Orochimaru is scared of Minato. Minato puts a kind of fear in everybody's heart, including Orochimaru, since it has been shown that Minato is stronger than Orochimaru. And, well, Team 7 is kind of Minato's team, as well as Fugaku, who's pretty strong as well. But, like, he don't want to mess with that. And the Leaf Village is very powerful right now. Even more powerful than it was before the Nine Tails attack. So, it's truly a force to be reckoned with. Anyways, let's get to the preliminary rounds. So here, of course, we start with the normal fights. However, Sasuke doesn't have to go all out or hold back because of his curse mark, and he's in perfect condition since he didn't have to do anything in the second round or get attacked, so he just walked right through it and is now easily defeating any enemy that's thrown at him, which wins him the preliminary round. Same goes for Sakura, though Sakura does actually win this one. I'm gonna give it to Sakura this time, and let me tell you why. Because whilst they haven't been a Genin team for very long, Sakura, seeing as Sasuke and Naruto got much stronger even in the academy, like during the academy over the 4 years, they got much stronger and smarter, and that motivated Ino and Sakura to get much stronger and train for much longer. But essentially, Sakura, when she got into Team 7, she just wanted to train even more to become a strong Genin and to stay on par with Naruto and Sasuke, which is why here she has more training and more experience with the C-rank mission than Ino does, which is why Sakura actually does win the preliminary rounds. Then, of course, a few rounds later, it's finally Naruto's turn against Kiba. This, as you can imagine, is a really easy fight. Naruto starts off by making about 50 shadow clones, which almost everybody in the room is surprised at, except for like the elders and village leaders, as well as, of course, some Jonin and Chunin. But he easily wins this. I mean, even without shadow clones or any special kind of jutsus, physically he's superior in every single way, even mentally, so there's no chance for Kiba, I'm sorry. Naruto stomps on Kiba. And with that, we're finally going to one of the more interesting fights, which is Lee versus Gaara. But if I'm gonna be honest, whilst it is an incredible fight, it'll go exactly the way it did in canon. However, yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm just joking. It'll go just as normal. And then Lee will be hospitalized. There's nothing anyone can do about that, and neither Lee nor Gaara have changed here. So it's just as normal. Then came the 1 month training skip, where Naruto, for about 1 or 2 days, trained with Shisui. However, then, whilst finally learning how to almost completely teleport, Naruto asked Minato if he could train with Minato. However, Minato suggested that he would train with Jiraiya, Minato's sensei, and so he did. And after 2 days, Jiraiya arrived at the Hidden Leaf Village to train Naruto. And at that point, Shisui gave Naruto an idea, so he could train with both Shisui and Jiraiya at the same time. Since he noticed that Naruto had an incredible amount of chakra, since he's a Jinchuriki and a Uzumaki, at least that's what he thought, but truthfully Naruto has much more than that. Naruto could make as many shadow clones as he could try, and then they could train for him. Shisui explained that it would basically be training more effectively, and whilst it wouldn't be, for example, if 100 shadow clones trained 100 times as efficient, it would be much more efficient than if just one person did. So Naruto did, and he was able to make about 5,000 shadow clones, which surprised Shisui, though it would just make his training much better. So half went to Jiraiya and half went to Shisui. And so they trained and trained and trained and trained vigorously. And the actual Naruto only trained a little bit every day and had his shadow clones work 24/7 since he never ran out of chakra, which seemed like a gift from God himself. Naruto could have his shadow clones train all day, every day, whilst Naruto could sit back and relax. Though Naruto still trained, even though he knew that he didn't really have to, because the actual Naruto training is as efficient as almost 100 shadow clones training. However, it would still make almost no difference. For a hero that made so many shadow clones, his progress was Godspeed. Finally, it was time for the Chunin exam finals, where Naruto had a chance of becoming an actual Chunin, and perhaps even lead his own team if he performed well enough, though that, for now, was a distant memory, as well as dream. Naruto arrived, though still meeting Team 7, even though all of them knew that they weren't going to work as a team here, and might even become enemies in the later rounds. Though for now, Naruto would fight Neji, because Sasuke was of course late, training with Kakashi. However, this time, Sasuke wasn't training with Kakashi for control over his Sharingan, since Itachi and Fugaku, his father and brother, could provide more than enough information about the Sharingan than Kakashi could ever dream of. He was okay. He was probably even as good with Sharingan knowledge and experience as Kakashi. However, he wanted the lightning jutsu and abilities that Kakashi had, which is why he used the 1 month to train with Kakashi. So, since he arrived late, and that was gonna be an incredible fight to watch, they delayed his fight for later. Naruto would be the one to fight now, against Neji, a Hyuga, as well as somewhat of a prodigy. The strongest one of them was getting team. They both got called to the arena and everybody else left. And then they got ready. Naruto, of course, immediately made as many shadow clones as possible, which filled almost the entire arena. Some even accidentally got onto the stands. However, he quickly dispatched those for them to jump down into the main arena. Then all of them quickly charged Neji, and whilst with his 64 palms he could try to dodge and block a few of them, he was easily outmatched. and Naruto didn't even have to use any of his special jutsus. So that was an easy win for Naruto. However, now already Kakashi arrived with Sasuke, this time much earlier than in canon, because Shisui noticed that they weren't there, so him being one of the fastest, because Minato of course couldn't leave the stands, Shisui quickly went out and searched for Sasuke Kakashi, which he was able to do in less than 5 seconds. Then their fight commenced with Sasuke against Gaara, and whilst it was a spectacular fight, and Gaara almost lost control of his tailed beast, in the end, he fainted and the match was a draw. Sasuke had no more chakra and was about to fall as well, and of course Gaara was out cold, which means the fight was a draw and none of them were to pass. But after this spectacular fight, I'm gonna leave off the video. Hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!